Hi everyone, Bandanner here and welcome back to the WARNO League Season 0.5 from SDL. Today we are back in the quarterfinals in Division 1 with Mix90 and Sotek for their best of 3. These guys, very good players, had a very good run so far to get to the quarterfinals as well. Let's see how they perform today. Obviously whoever wins this set of games goes through to the semi-finals and has a run on the finals where there is some serious cash up for grabs once more. Sotek is over on the left in blue, playing as the 1st British Armoured, and over on the right in red is Mix90, playing as the 5th E, that is the French tank division. Let's have a look at what Mix has down. Dragon Paras heading up to Foxtrot, and then the vehicle just heading over to this side. We have some AMX-10s and some Echoes, all heading over this way by the looks of it. We've got a command that's heading into Delta. Is it going somewhere after that? No, it's not. It's just going to Delta for the time being. We've got some more recon over this side, going right around to these buildings. And then we have a load of commandos in choppers. We have 5 commandos. 3 of them going to Alpha, 2 of them going to Charlie. This is an aggressive push here by Mix90. He wants to try and gain a foothold in Alpha, preferably as Sotek arrives or just before he gets there with those helicopters. However, Sotek has forward deployment troops, which obviously makes a bit of a difference here. So, Terrier's Paras with Carl Gustav pushing up this way, 1 into Foxtrot right at the top there, and 1 over to this side. Terrier's Paras with Carl Gustav heading into this area here to cut that off. And then we've got 1 squad going up here into the top edge of the town. That won't be enough to stop 3 commandos though. Scouts Law both pushing up to here, 1 at this side, 1 at this side. At the back we've got a Javelin LML, some rifles and a Milan 2. Interestingly, putting a few up here, but also sending the others into Alpha. It looks like he's just trying to defend against a push around the back. And down here we have a command, we have a tracked rapier, a chieftain. We've got a couple of warriors with arm rifles and a couple of javelin LMLs. And they're kind of spreading all over this area. The command going to Foxtrot, out of Foxtrot, and then back up to Alpha. Let's get this show on the road. Switch over to our controller. Early combat then likely to be in Alpha when these commandos meet the Terrier's Paras. I also expect a little bit of skirmishing in Foxtrot as those AMX-10s reach that area. AMX-10s quite nasty, especially if they get round to your rear. They're very good at sniping various vehicles and infantry. They are very, very high damage. Let's have a little reminder of that for anyone who isn't familiar. AMX-10s, not the most heavily armoured units, but they have mediocre stealth, the very good optics, and look at the cannon on them. Full range and 17 pen. A couple of Mirages in for Mix90 already, looking for helicopters I assume, or possibly also to just protect the Super Pumas from any hostile anti-air jets that will be coming in to kill them. Chasseurs being called in AMX-10Ps now to reinforce those areas of the map. Both Alpha and Charlie, the lumber mill. Let's get ourselves zoomed in a little bit here because this is where the combat is about to happen. Super Pumas are deploying. Terrier's Paras are arriving at just the same time. Scouts also. Commandos will fare well here, I expect, however. There's no contest for Charlie in the woodland. The lumber mill looks like it's going to Mix. Mix defending both Foxtrot and Alpha, but those commandos are going to be nasty. Let's have a reminder, those commandos. They've got a SIG, they've got 2 machine guns, which are very, very strong. Oh, and that really helps. Mirage is there doing some strafing runs on those infantry. Not that those commandos needed that much help realistically, I don't think. Another set of scouts go down. Commandos just going to rampage through here. Mirage coming in to get the other scouts as well. Oh, no aircraft in for Sotek here. It means that Mix can just keep flying these around and doing strafing runs. Javelin has arrived and is deployed, but hasn't got a hit yet. But those commandos, very good units. Obviously, it should also be noted, I failed to mention, they are elite troops. They're special forces. So, very strong in this kind of urban environment. So at the moment, map control very much on Mix's side. He's moving arm rifles up towards Alpha, coming in behind those commandos. He will need fire support to deal with those commandos, though. Speaking of, 2 Gazelle rockets coming in at the bottom of the screen there, heading up towards Alpha. I also know more commandos coming in at the top of the screen there. Sotek being pushed out of Foxtrot, though. Those AMX-10s causing issues. Have managed to force back the Scout's Law. And one of the Terrier's Paris has been killed there. Jaguar HE dive bomber coming in for the AMX-10. Should get a nice kill. Lovely strike. Needs to get out straight away. Jaguars are dive bombers. I had this question in the comments, why people take Jaguars rather than Tornadoes. So Jaguars are dive bombers. They actually dive on their target, which means that they're much more accurate and tend to have a much tighter spread on their bombs. Therefore, they generally guarantee a kill. Obviously, not always. But that is why Jaguars are taken. Even though other bombers may have more bombs for a similar price. Commandos getting overwhelmed by the Chieftain, the Gazelles, and the arm rifles there. Gazelles only have a few rockets, so they're limited in their use compared to some other helicopters. Loads of reinforcements arriving here. Looks like Sotek will be able to clear up this mess in Alpha. Currently still +1 to Mix. Was +1 for a bit longer for Sotek, who's still in the lead, and he's now capped this point for neutralization. Obviously, the Commandos still in there, but they should be dealt with now. Oh, those Assault Pioneers still in their vehicle, pushing in a little bit far here. And they get immediately destroyed. Always important to deploy your infantry outside of an area when it's in combat. Risky driving straight in. Been there, done that myself. Lost infantry unnecessarily. Jaguar coming in the middle there, going for the Commandos. Gets the kill. Jaguar HE doing a good job here. There's not much AA in at the other side for Mix. He's going to be relying on his jets, which are back there at the moment. He is coming in, possibly for another strafing run. No, he's actually trying to get one of the jets that was evacing. I think that was the Jaguar. An AMX-30B2 command vehicle coming in towards Foxtrot. A little bit concerned Sotek has very little over here. He's obviously had to fight hard to regain control of this area. Tornado HE coming in there. Look at the spread on those bombs. Obviously that is the difference. So bigger bombs over a big widespread area. However, there was every chance he could have killed his own Assault Pioneers there. Very lucky with the spread. Jaguar HE coming in, much more accurate. Going for that building at the back there. Good strike, good kill. Good use of the aircraft here, the bombers, to clear up that point. Now needs to think about the other points, namely Foxtrot over here, which he is about to lose. Terrier's Powers of Carl Gustav over here doing some damage. Managed to kill the AMX-30B2 Brennus. That's a tasty kill for the Terrier's Powers. They should also be able to kill that AMX-10 without an issue. Nice hit, stunned it. Mirage coming in for a strafing run again. Gets the Gazelle. But goes down in the process. Likely paid for itself, though. Those jets have been doing a few strafing runs on various units. But at the moment, if we just have a look at the map, you can see the map control here. Mix has it. Mix is in control of Foxtrot, Bravo, and Charlie. And Sotek is looking a little bit boxed in. Mainly focused around Alpha. He has now got control of that. He needs to start moving out. I think we'll see a move towards Foxtrot. I do see that rover command moving back across this way. Just at this area of the screen. Another Jaguar coming back in to do another bombing run. Could easily be going for the AMX 30 command tank here. Certainly looks like it. Oh no. Must have lost target lock and dropped in front of. Unfortunate. That might have been a nice kill. Jaguar getting evac'd. Unfortunately for Sotek, Mix is already pushing back into Alpha. He's got Grenadier Voltigers into that top corner. He's got his own Jaguar HE coming in now. Nice strike. The command tank does go down in Foxtrot though during all of that. Certainly Sotek looking a bit stronger here. Where's he going with that rover command? He's just charging it in past those infantry. That's weak to everything. Oh, and he loses it. I think that was a bit of a frantic push on that. Dragon Power is obviously not looking too healthy there, but even with their rifles, can do damage to a small vehicle like that. Manages to make it a +1 to Mix though, rather than a +2. It does make a difference. Shame to lose the command though. Mix looking pretty good here. Has managed to regain some control in that point. HE bombers coming in to clear this up. Good use of bombers here. Look at that. Nice strike on clearing all of that building out. Got to give it to Sotek here. He is really clearing up these buildings of infantry with those bombers. And it doesn't feel like Mix can really respond to that very effectively at the moment. Doing minimal damage to them as they come in. Certainly none have gone down yet that I've noticed. But unfortunately, just looking at the map here, I feel like Sotek hasn't exchanged well. / he's got less on the ground because of all the bombers he's bought. And the bombers have been extremely useful, but he's really struggling on the ground at the minute to keep control of point, which is less than ideal. Command coming down from Charlie down towards Alpha for Mix 90 now. He's going to cap that. There's no counter command there. I'm just going to spin round briefly. Tornado HE coming in. There is a Chieftain Mark 11 command on the way. The thing is, on this map, as with any duel map, points are hard to come by unless you manage to steamroll your enemy and take control of the entire map. And getting advantages in points is a good thing, but right now it is not looking good for Sotek. He's lost a lot of ground control. And he just looks very, very thin on the ground in terms of units, unfortunately. He's losing lots of units as well. Not to say that Mix is keeping all of his alive, but just in terms of numbers on the ground here, it does look a lot better for Mix. Challenger Mark 2 takes a nasty hit from the Jaguar there. Just showing how strong they can be with that dive bombing. Even doing some serious damage to the Challenger Mark 2, if you can just see it at the back there. Down to just a couple of pips of health from one strike. And obviously if that was a cluster bomber that was diving, it would probably be dead. The game, I don't believe, tells you what is a dive bomber and not a dive bomber. But if you check out the WarYes website, then the unit cards there will tell you specifically if their bombing is normal or dive bombing. So normal is just one that bombs from a high height, high altitude bombing, and the dive bomber obviously means ones that will dive in. The Tornado cluster here being a high altitude bomber. It will not dive. Or at least very, very little. It's a nice kill though, either way. Currently +4 to mix, and +4 is a nice number to have on this map. Chieftain Mark 11 command coming in at this far side. 27 minutes, just under left. We need to see Sotek push back into this point, really. A little bit concerned the Javelin LMLs are going out at the front there. Maybe a slight distraction, but Chieftain Mark 11 command pushing in, but there is also the P4 PC command sat in there. So it will only be contested initially. There's an AMX-30B2 waiting. An AMX-10RC at the back. Chieftain Mark 11 command there, just hovering outside the point. Not sure why it's not gone in. Challenger Mark 2 badly damaged, needs a repair. Oh, it's had to back off there. There's actually a big supply here that could help with the Challenger. I think it's possible that Sotek's forgotten it's there. Sotek managed to regain a bit of control of Alpha, bringing the helicopters across to try and clear up some of the infantry. Jaguar HE coming in for the Chieftain. Nice strike. Doesn't get the kill though. Brennes takes a nasty hit from that bomber as well, but doesn't die. And the Chieftain is now moving in, but now moving in on less than half health. And that'll be an easy kill, even for the AMX at that range. I say even for the AMX-10, knowing full well that the AMX-10 has a ridiculously good damage output. Challenger trying to get on the AMX-10 now. Back to a +4 for mix. Jaguar HE getting another kill up in Alpha. I mean, I suspect MVP is going to go to these bombers because they have killed a lot, but equally, Mix 90 doing the same now. Look at those bombers coming in. There's the command tank dead. That's going to be the Challenger dead as well. That's going to be hard to recover from, losing the Challenger Mark II and the command that was there. And it's already a +4. There's no other commands at the front. I'm just going to spin around and have a look. There's no more commands on the way. Sotek's fighting hard here, but the lack of a command at the front means that this can't be neutralized out anytime soon. And there's plenty of commands on the field for Mix 90. He's got a command over here. He's got a command in here. Realistically, he's going to be able to contest these points anyway and keep those points ticking. Sotek once again looking a bit more solid in this point. He does have units in there, but there's plenty of reinforcements arriving for Mix to keep them tied up. Jaguar HE bomber surely goes down to these two tornadoes. I think the Javelin may have finished it. They also get the Alouette on the way past. But again, just sheer numbers of units on the field. There's a lot more red still around. I'm not sure there's much that Sotek can do here now. I'm not sure if this is he's not exchanged well, or this is just he's expended a little bit too much on those aircraft. It's really difficult to say. I think he's definitely lost a lot on the ground. Obviously losing the Challenger wasn't great. But he's also killed plenty. I think he's also spent a lot on bombers. Tornado HE coming in, gets taken out by the Mirage. Does drop its bombs though. Manages to kill another squad of grenadiers. Challenger Mark II here arriving at the front, but that +4 on this map, and already 1,260 points, and lacking units for the map control. I just don't think there's any way Sotek can pull this back now, and there's the surrender. Commiseration, Sotek, that was a rough game. Very well played to Mix 90 though. Very, very aggressive play. Wow. You see what I mean about units on the ground and kills to losses? And this is why I wasn't sure. Sotek was actually ahead in kills to losses. Even though he lost that game, he was ahead in kills to losses. And this comes back to spending a lot of money on aircraft and not having as many units on the ground. Aircraft are expensive. Let's have a look at the kills and losses. Milan got a few warriors there. So for something to really stand out. Look at this Jaguar HE. This is what I was saying. MVP. The Jaguars did a really good job. They got a lot of kills. Tornado got a lot of kills. Arm Rifles was getting plenty of kills there. But where are the other? So we've got HE Bomber. There's another HE Bomber. Only got 1 kill. That Jaguar HE got 1 kill in that game. That Tornado got 4 kills. Tornado Cluster got a kill. Tornado got 1 kill at the end. Now, if you think about the cost of these jets, most of those jets did not pay for their cost in what they killed. And obviously that cost has then gone into aircraft and not into ground units to maintain control. Because what you're going to get 2, 3, maybe even 4 squads of infantry, depending, if not more, for some infantry, for the price of one of these jets in some cases. So I suspect that's why we're seeing that disparity in kills to losses, even though Sotek lost the game. I hope that makes sense. So let's have a look at the game there. So lots of losses early on, unfortunately for Sotek, and then it kind of petered out a bit, going both ways. And then we had a period where there was quite a few red losses, a bit mixed again after that. And I'd say beyond that, it was quite mixed all the way through. But overall, a lot more losses in terms of ground units. Technically, I suppose, for Mix 90 there, at least in terms of value. But well played, guys. Very well played to Mix. Very aggressive. Let's hop into game number 2 and see if Sotek can bring this back for a 1-1 and drive us into a third and final game. Hi everyone and welcome back to game number 2 with Mix and Sotek. Mix 90 playing on the right in blue as the 8th Infantry Division, and over on the left in red we have Sotek playing as the 79th this time. Let's have a little look at what Mix has down. M150 heading up here, defensive positioning, usual place for that. Jaeger Aufkul coming up and going into these buildings. LRS coming up to these buildings here. We've got a Jaeger Aufklärer coming up to that building there. And we've got a couple of Jaeger Aufklärer heading up to this area here, likely to do a push. An MP Patrol pushing up to these buildings as well defensively, and a Stinger heading into these buildings there. Over at this side, we got a Fire Team AT4 heading straight up here, deploying in the forest. Can be moved up then. Here we have a M113 Dragon with some mech rifles law, an M1 Abrams, and a Pivads all heading up to this area here. And then in the center we have a Stinger, an M1 Abrams, and a CV. The CV will be heading to Bravo, Charlie, and then back over to Alpha. Over at the other side, I'm seeing a heck of a stack for Sotek at the right hand side, so we'll start at the left. Modostrelki heading up here, that defensive positioning most certainly. We've got some Razvedka heading into this building in the center, pretty standard. We've got some Modostrelki in a BMP2, we've got a Konkurs, and we've got an Igla. All of these pushing up to here respectively. The Konkurs will definitely be going into that building. Then at this side, in what looks like a hard push into Charlie, we have a T-80 PVK, we have 2 supply vehicles, we have an Igla, we have a Modostrelki Metas, we have a Sapri RPO, a Motorstocky, and BMP, and a BMP2. We have a T80B, and Strela and a Cub. All of that is pushing hard here. Look at this, all going up this way. So we're going to see a hard push at the bottom. Let's get this show on the road. Sotek playing very aggressively here. As long as he plows all this through and plays sensibly with it, I don't think there'll be enough there for Mix to stop this. I think Mix will struggle. Let's get zoomed in here, as this is where the fighting will take place. I think the top of the map will be quiet for the moment. It's going to be all action down here at the bottom. Spetsnaz Gru going straight in. Where are they actually deploying? Oh, the Jaeger Aufkull are going to be deployed potentially. Oh, nice. Sotek's paying attention. Deploys them early. Now that might give away to Mix 90 what's about to happen here, since the Spetsnaz Gru were quite so aggressive. Obviously the Jaeger Aufklärer there can really put up a big fight, especially against vehicles, so Sotek needs to be careful here. They are equipped with anti-tank, as well as, you know, they're a big 11-man squad. They've got the Panzerfaust, they've got machine gun, they're a decent squad. Immediately showing that off by killing the BTR-60. Now, technically, there should be overwhelming force here for Sotek, but he just needs to get stuck in, make sure all the tanks are assisting in firing. Just going to turn the camera around. I want to see if there's any jets come in to deal with these tanks, because that's going to be perhaps the only thing that's going to stop this push. Would be some kind of anti-tank jet coming in, or a cluster bomber, something nasty. Obviously, bear in mind right now that in terms of commands on the field, there's just the T-80BVK on the field for Sotek. Fighting Falcon in. The Tow Cobra on the way as well. BMP2 getting a little bit too close. BMP2 goes down. But at the same time, Mix is being very aggressive in the middle. He's realised there's not a lot going on up there. SU-25 AT coming in for the Abrams. Gets the kill. Takes a lot of damage, though. Another command has arrived for Sotek. He has managed to cap his back point and now neutralise the centre. He needs to get on top of this Jaeger Aufkull here, which is currently beating up the command tank. It's a shame that he didn't bring his tanks around this way. Maybe they would have got through easier, but equally, you know, the Tow Cobra's coming in, so it would have been more susceptible to the Tow Cobra, which will actually do more damage. Strela is pushing up, though. These Jaeger just need to be dead, but at the same time, look at the top left corner of the map. Everything is just charging across the centre. There's obviously nothing there to really defend that command for Sotek. Mix is bringing in reinforcements here. Sotek just needs to get in this point so fast. Sotek can be absolutely amazing at microing his units. You'll remember earlier in this tournament he played against Lathans and played an amazing game against Lathans, doing some incredible micromanagement of his tanks. It was absolutely outstanding. Very rare do you see that kind of micro quality for tanks. So Sotek more than capable of doing that. Has lost control of the middle for the moment. However, he saved his command. He got it out of there in time. And he's in control of this point down here. There's a +1 now to Sotek. A little bit of a lead in points for Mix. Sotek just needs to lock down this point and clear it out, and then think about pivoting into the centre. Remember, there's not a lot in the center either for Mix. I mean, he's having to move his command up with his other units so nothing comes in behind and kills it. Very sensible by Mix, by the way, keeping his command moving in this situation. There's an MP patrol being called in to cover the back there for the inevitable potential push around here. Strela. Oh, Strela goes down to the mech rifles. Have we got any more infantry coming in for Sotek here? No, he's not actually committing any more forces to this push. He's bringing stuff in for the center instead now. That may be a mistake, as obviously Mix is going to bring in a lot of reinforcements to this point. As we can see, lots more infantry coming in at the moment. But there's just no real reinforcement arriving for Sotek here as he tries to get back in the center. Sotek's T-80BV there, pushed up on its own in the center. It is routed now, it's taken too many missiles. Well, they've not done it a lot of damage. It's panicked it. Mix looking a little bit better down here. Reinforcements now being called in for Sotek at this area of the map. BRDM-2U command has been destroyed by the Jäger Aufkul in the center. He did get it back in there briefly. A nice bonus to the points, obviously. In terms of what's coming in, Mix hasn't even called in another command yet. Focusing purely on bringing in units. T-80B not looking so good here. Stunned. T-80BVK moving up to assist. T-80B gets a nice shot on the Abrams. T-80B just about survives that. Manages to smoke as well. I don't know if that was pure luck or a bit of fantastic tank micro. I think there's a bit of both involved in that. Sotek having to pull those tanks back though, and the Cub now. Mix back in control of that point. Over in the center. Mix remains in control. T-80BV IZD being pushed back up there, but it's only got half cohesion. Well, just under half cohesion, which isn't ideal. A couple of shots and it'll be routed again. They need time to recover. Once again, Mix kind of has the map control here that is required. T-80BV IZD-29s are absolutely amazing tanks, but they're going up against a lot of infantry here. That one's once again panicked. Jäger Aufkul pushing around behind it. Has managed to smoke with his broken tracks though, so it can't actually evac, but it is safe. T-80BV IZD again takes a hit in the middle there and is once again panicked. These things are going to be relatively useless. That one there, stunned again, taking a nasty hit from the Jäger Aufklärer. Over to this side, command back in this point for Mix 90 now. Back to a +3. One squad of Motorstrelki here pushing in against multiple squads of enemy units. They're not faring very well. They don't have any fire support from the back. BMP2 should be able to assist. Metis is just charging forward, get absolutely ripped to shreds. Motorstrelki dropped off in this corner now. BMP2's in, great fire support. M1A1 Abrams in the center there though. And unfortunately, Sotek doesn't have the tank capability to deal with it at the moment. His tanks are either badly damaged or panicked. They're going to even struggle to get a hit on the M1A1. because aiming goes all over the place when they're that panicked. Sotek still trying to push down there at the other side of the map. Has managed to clear up some of the infantry in here, but has sustained considerable losses and still has this Jaeger Aufkult round the back here. This Gather bomber comes in. Veers off before dropping its bombs though. Down at the bottom. Unfortunately, Sotek not making any progress down there. Kind of stuck in a forest to building brawl. Jaeger Aufklärer here finally getting ripped apart by the Mi-24. Another command coming in here for Sotek. Not sure where he's going to send it, that it'll be safe at the moment. The point is pretty much controlled by Mix 90. And this Fireteam 84 moving right up to this forest to cover it again. Obviously the T-80 BV IZD went down. The other one in the middle here, very badly damaged. 3 pips of health, still pretty panicked. Have managed to chase off the M1A1 though. Down the other side of the map. No real progress being made there. Little bit further forward for those Motorstrike, but they are badly beaten up. And there's still plenty of units defending. And more reinforcement arriving. The T-80 IZD goes down. Chopper goes down. T-80B is arriving here now. But being engaged already by a new M1A1. And is immediately taken out by those forces. I think that's probably game. Sotek has not exchanged well this game. Definitely going to be in Mix's favour. Commiserations, Sotek. Well played to Mix 90. Yeah. Quite a difference in kills to losses by the end there for a short game. Let's have a little look there. Abrams did well. The Mac rifles were doing pretty well. M1A1 did well. Over the other side, T-80 BVK did okay. BMP2 didn't do badly either. But as we can see there, bit of a back and forth at the start. Slightly more red, perhaps, losses. Then we sort of fell into a lot of red. Quite a few blues here and there as well. But overall, especially towards the end there, we just got lots of red losses all in a row. Commiserations, Sotek, but very well played to Mix. Congratulations to Mix on going through to the semi-finals. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please do like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you all soon for some more WARNO.